Today's episode is with a self-made marketeer who started in the events industry at a young age and soon found that helping businesses become market leaders is his real talent. Being results-driven, he has mastered the way for businesses to utilize online ROI for greater reach, growth, and success in hospitality, SMEs, and all different industries, fueled by data-driven strategies. Dario, welcome to Failures and Beyond.
Hello, and thanks for letting me be here.
Welcome, welcome. I really loved your story when I first heard it, and it pretty much, I think, summarized the concept of putting it all out there and it's go big or go home. But in your case, it was, I'm just going to try this because it's the last chance that I've got. And if it doesn't work, the backup is to get up and leave Dubai and go back to Germany. So can you just share the story of how you started 37 Consult? What was the reason that what's your why? I want to know, why did you start it and how did you start it?
Yep. I came to Dubai 2015. I was 21 years old, and I was working in an events company. We organized corporate events for Subway, Microsoft, YPO, like large corporations, and they flew in their 100 or 200, 400 best salespeople into Dubai, and they stayed in Burj Al Arab and Madinat and private desert tours and private helicopter flights, whatever. So it was very corporate and very stuck up, let's say. And I liked it. It was cool. I was a project manager for about 4 years. First as a project manager, junior, and then normal project manager, and then sales and marketing in the end. And I thought I always want to start my own business somehow, but I had no idea what. Really no clue. I had no passion about a certain thing. I like music. I play guitar. I play the drums, but that I know that's a very bad topic to make a business about. So I wasn't really sure what to do. And I think what happened was it simply started with a Google search after being employed for 4 years, and I felt there's something growing in me. I was like 24, 25-ish, and I wanted to do something. And I Googled how to make money online, just as many people start nowadays. And I think the first thing that came up was coaching, consulting back in the days, 2018, 19 or something.
Yeah, I mean, Dubai is very well known for the coaching scene, yes.
Yeah, but the thing is I didn't have anything that I consult about because I didn't have the expertise about this special thing. Like I had no, I don't know, people do it mindset training and whatever they do nowadays. So I didn't have any of this. And the second one was dropshipping. And I had a computer when I was 5. So my dad gave me a computer when I was like 5, 6 years old. So I did know how to build basic web things, but very, very basic, like not on any professional level. And it was dropshipping, good old dropshipping, buying products, or not even buying, like you market products somewhere and you ship them to another country. So the first business I had, or the first money I made outside my normal job, was there's these arthritis, what do you call them? Pressure gloves.
Pressure gloves, yeah.
And it's like gloves, I haven't seen them since, but apparently it's like gloves that pressure the blood out of your fingers and put them back into your hand. And that's less painful for the people who have it. And so I built a store. I went on Facebook in the WhatsApp to a Facebook group, and I found a guy called Sandeep. Greetings go out. He was living in, I think, 6,000 kilometers. Oh, sorry, not 6,000, 600 kilometers away from New Delhi in like a very small village. And he wants to become a pilot. So we became friends through this Facebook group, and he knew how to run ads on Facebook. And so we became friends. And I built a store. We found a product, we found a winning product called these pressure gloves. And we bought them in China. Like, we didn't buy them, but we marketed them in America. The cost was $1. And we sold them in America in the Midlands. Like, we didn't sell in California, not in New York, like where the other people live in the middle of America. And we sold them for $35. That was the first money we made. I think we spent, that's my last money I had back in the day. It's like $2,000 on ads, but we made $6,000 in return. But the problem was with dropshipping, I don't recommend anyone to do that. Like, I wouldn't recommend dropshipping. It's not a real business. I wouldn't say it's scamming people, but it doesn't provide any value. You market a product which is not yours for an overpriced price, because you have to pay the advertising, you have to pay the shipping, you have to pay the store and everything, all the cost that comes with it. And then the customer receives the product 6 weeks after he orders it. And it's a product that's low quality, which costs $1. And he bought it for 35. So I quickly realized this is nothing I want to do, because it's, yes, you can make money, but on the cost of the customer's happiness. So the customer doesn't have any benefit. He pays a lot, he waits forever. But it worked. I mean, and this guy, Santip, he taught me Facebook ads. Like, we had, back then it was Skype, but there was no Zoom. So we Skyped, and yeah, he taught me Facebook ads. And this was the start of the journey. Then my neighbor, Luke Tully, he was the smoke master of a restaurant called SMK, Smoke Meat Kitchen. And he asked me how I would do that. Like, how do I sell products online in America? And I told him the story. Have your drinks, and I told him about this. And he said, why can't we sell burgers like this? Like, why can't we sell our stuff online in Dubai? And it's like, well, I don't know. We can try that, but I don't know if it works. Like, I can sell gloves to Americans, but I'm not sure if I can sell burgers to Dubai people. But that's how we did it. And we sold some burgers, and then these people knew other people, and out of a sudden I had like 3-4 clients. Food businesses in Dubai, SMK, Sausage Fabrik, Wingsters, and one more. I forgot. But yeah, this is how it started. So, like, it was more or less, I want to start a business. I didn't know what. I Googled. I found something that I became good at. And that also taught me that passion is not really, like, I believe in passion, but I don't. Like, I think passion means do something, and if you become good at it and you get feedback from other people and they tell you, wow, that's nice, or they tell you, wow, I make money with this, or it helps myself, then it becomes a passion. Because most passion, again, my passion was music. I knew I can't make anything with music, or I didn't want to also. But I think passion is something that's coming when you practice and become good at it, and then it becomes your passion. So yeah, that's how we started.
Amazing. Okay, so I want to take you to the place where you were sitting in Dubai after having a few clients, and all of their contracts were coming to an end.
Yep.
You were sitting with 3,000 dirhams, was it, in your account?
3,000 dirhams.
And you had to make a decision whether you're going to put all this money into your last attempt at making things work, or you're going to have to go home. And home for you was Germany. So go to that place where you sat and thought, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? What was going through your mind, and how did you find a way out?
Interesting. I think I was 26, 27. No, earlier. 25, 26, around this age. And just paid my rent in Dubai. I lived in a shared villa in Sakim, beautiful by the beach. Had a small room, shared with other experts in Dubai, a photographer. And I was sitting on the table, and I was thinking, well, okay, I have 3,500 dirhams. I have no clients. Because the issue was, as you said, I made contracts for 3 months only, rolling. I made them in spring, like February, March. And they run out on 1st of June. I mean, I've been to Dubai since then by like 5-6 years, but I didn't know that people like to save money over summer. I mean, now I know it, right? But I didn't know people cancel contracts and stuff, because I thought, why would they, But
so you thought it was just going to continue as a rolling contract?
Yeah, I mean,
in the
why would
next 3
anyone
months?
cancel marketing anyways? Why people go, I mean, why would you cancel anything like that if it works for you? But yeah, I mean, for some reason, people said to me, yeah, look, it's going okay, but we're going on holiday also. I want to reduce the marketing budget over summer, so thanks. Bye. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, I had a problem because I had no clients. I just quit my job like half a year or a year ago. Barely had any savings. So yeah, I had 3,500 dirhams. But I knew how to run ads. Like, I knew how to make money technically. I knew how to create short-term cash flow with ads. So I took these 3,500 dirhams, and I had no clients whatsoever. And I took a stock image of Google, of a guy who sits on a computer, he looks businessy. And I wrote an ad copy that started with, I remember the first line, are you still cold calling, are you still cold calling, or do you experience the power of online advertising yet? That was the first line of the ad. And I run it in Dubai for like, I don't know, 50 dirhams a day. And I received 30 dirt cheap leads. Like, I didn't know people weren't doing it. That was 2017, 18. People weren't running ads in Dubai, really, especially for B2B. So I was the first agency, more or less, to run ads online, how to get clients. So I was lucky, more or less, but also like I didn't know how to handle these leads, right? So I got leads from all over the place. Companies I have no idea of. There was a recruiting company that signed up. There was a guy had an AutoCAD, like who make machine drawings on, I don't even know what they're doing, to be honest. AutoCAD drawings courses. So I signed up, I think with 3,500 dirhams, I signed up 3 clients who paid the rent for the summer, who gave me more budget to run more ads. And that was the big summer of 2017.
And that's how you started 37 Consult?
This is how, because I didn't know how to acquire clients. Like, I was so nerdy about how to run these ads. I was so nerdy on the operational side of the business, and I wasn't aware of, so if you run a business, who pays your salary, right? So I can do whatever I want. I can be the best in running ads. But if no one knows that I can run ads, so if nobody knows that I have something I can help with, then what's the point of this, right? And this really taught me that sales and marketing is the most important thing for any small business. Like, unless you make, I think, I don't know, I don't want to put a number to it, but unless you make 2-3 million dirhams a year, I don't think there's anything else that you should take care of, unless apart from sales marketing. Especially marketing, and more importantly, sales. Because again, then I had a problem. I had leads of people who said, yes, I want to do something, but how do I close deals? I was an employee, for like 4 or 5 years. So all the deals that we worked on, the projects, someone did something, then gave me a closed deal and say, work on it. So I was good at that, but I didn't know how to get the people to sign a contract, what to say, how to convince people of your services and stuff. So this was the biggest challenge, I think, of my business journey so far. How to I could generate leads because I would know online marketing. So I know how to get leads, but I didn't know how to close the deals. Especially when you're 25 and you have no sales experience. I wasn't a real estate agent or anything, right? I was just a guy who ran ads, and pretty nerdy also back in the days. I'm still nerdy, but I didn't know how to close deals.
So that's interesting because a lot of people that I speak to are facing difficulty in generating leads. You had the opposite.
It was the opposite, yeah.
Because the ones who are having issues trying to get those leads, they know how to close. So they're very confident in their ability to close a deal. They need to get those deals on the table. You were very easy to acquire all those leads, but for you to close them and for that to convert into an actual paying client was your pain point. So for me, it's interesting because you turned your skill into a thriving business, which is what it is now. And the main pain point that it was helping were those people who were having the issues in acquiring new leads. And that for me was interesting because you started doing that back in the years where it wasn't a big deal. People were still relying on different forms of lead generation.
Referrals, cold calling.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, in my own business, I've not really advertised my services. It's always been through word of mouth. So for me, referrals has always been something that I've based my business on. And it's interesting because I have a lot of different peers who focus very differently. They have a very strict lead generation process and they follow it because they know that if they don't do that, their income is going to suffer. So I'm interested to know as well, what is the biggest learning you've seen since you started a few years ago with this as your main business that can help a small business that doesn't have a big budget? Let's say they can allocate a few thousand dirhams a month, if that, right? We're talking a small business. And they're either running a product or a service. What would you suggest for them to do with their online marketing strategy?
It depends on how big the business is and what's the product. Give me a sample.
So let's say, for example, they are a coach, right? And they have a coaching business. And I say business loosely because a lot of coaches, they don't actually have a trade license. They're doing it as a side gig, or they're doing it until they understand this is a viable business for them to go and start their license. So they are running coaching services and they do it online. But they need to get the word out that they are an ex-coach. So it could be they're a business coach, they could be a sales coach, they can be a personal trainer, they can be a mental health coach, whatever it is. But they want to get the word out and let people know that this is a service they're offering. And there's huge competition, especially here in Dubai with coaching. What would you recommend for them to do with their online marketing strategy to get that competitive edge?
So coaches is, I think, pretty unique in terms of other businesses. I don't recommend investing in ads for coaches if they don't make at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So anything below this, I would rather invest the money into branding, equipment, cameras, microphones, organic content, and learn to make sales, like how to close deals, because it's a very personalized service. Like, it's not selling a product. Selling a product, you put on a website, someone puts a credit card and buys. Service-based businesses, the biggest leverage below $30,000 a month is learning sales. Okay. Because leads you get, I mean, as a fitness coach, it's pretty easy to generate leads online. If your expertise is to lose weight, I think the easiest way to make money as a fitness coach is to go on LinkedIn, go to your main city where you're operating, buy the sales navigator, look for people, men above, 30, 40, and look at their profile picture. And if they seem a bit chubby, add them as a friend. So profiling is what you're suggesting. Yeah, I mean, add them as a friend, send them a message. Hey, when's the last time you fit in your shirt from 10 years ago? I mean, is that not a little bit too abrupt to go? It's like, it's cold calling for me was something I hated being on the receiving end. And if someone approached me and they said, hey, I'm a fitness coach or I'm a personal trainer and, you look like you could benefit from that. I'm like, excuse me? I would just be thinking, but you're a woman how also. Offensive. You're a woman also. Imagine if I'm a man. How it wouldn't be very nice to receive that kind of a message. I'm thinking initially, how rude. But at the same time, I understand where you're coming from. And as far as you have to select the clients that you want to work for. And at the end of the day, if you're spending the time to go through their profile or just to see if they would be the right fit for you, I think on that level, yes, it makes sense to profile people based on their rightness for you as a client. It depends on how you say it, right? Yeah, so I think the approach of being that blunt maybe is a bit too harsh. I would do it that way, because I think if you cold calling or cold outreach is quantity goes over quality for cold outreach. So yeah, I think it depends on the business. So let's say, for example, if we're dealing with products. In as far as, let's say that product is food, right? You have a restaurant and a small little establishment, and you want to get the word out that your donuts are the best freaking donuts in the whole of Dubai, right? There's a lot of bakeries out there. There's a lot of business out there that people are competing for. So what can that business do with their online marketing strategy? Yes. The thing is, I know where you want to go. The problem is, okay, yes, I have something, right? So if you do sell donuts and you have a limited budget, let's say you want to spend money online and you have $1,000 per month, the easiest thing is, if you have a product, take your phone camera, show the product from inside out, post it on Instagram, and then there's this button next to it, boost this post, and spend whatever you have on this button. On this one product, one image. Yeah. Or make videos of it. Of course, make content about it, like learn, like Google something or YouTube how to make product images or photos. But the thing is, most online marketer people who listen to me now would think I'm crazy because this button is horrible. But again, this button makes a lot. Like if you have no budget, you just want to get your word out, when you get your first sales, this button does a lot. If you do have budget and you do want to invest into customer acquisition, I always recommend performance marketing,
Yeah.
right? So you have any sort of platform, e-commerce, a website, and there's some sort of conversion after lead or sale. And then, you install conversion tracking and run conversion ads. But this is again this is not for starters. Like
Yeah.
to do this, you need a solid income, you need to have customers, you need proof of concept. Because what most people, I think the mistake that most people do is that they spend money online on something that's not proven. You can only spend money on something
There's a track record.
that works. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you burn the budget. So to starters, I just get name out and do something online.
Okay.
Anything.
So because that's interesting for me. There will be people who are thinking about starting out and they very rarely even contemplate allocating a marketing budget. And then there are well-established businesses from which I'm speaking personally that I've worked with clients that will spend, and I'm talking 6 figures, 7 figures on an event, right? Inviting the top influencers and doing such a wonderful event. But their marketing budget is tiny. I'm talking tiny. And they'll want to have filming done with 3 to 4 cameras and perfect lighting and this. And I'll say, okay, fine, we can put that together. This is the cost. And I'm very well priced. I actually say to myself that I'm not high priced and I'm not low cost, but the quality is what we deliver. So I look at that event and I'm like, they're spending a lot of money, which is great. So we have to capture that on film. When they come back with, that's out of our budget, I'm like, what is your budget? Their budget is ridiculous. I'm saying you're spending more for event. So they would spend more on their food than they would on their marketing. That's a different cost. But I always think to myself, this footage you're going to capture is going to last much longer than this event. If you don't think that that's valuable, then you need to relook at why you even want to capture any of this. What's the ultimate reason why you want this? To have a few reels out? That's a different concept.
Are these large corporations or smaller businesses?
Large. They're large businesses, international. I've worked with 2 of them based in Europe. They have a great concept when it comes to expenditure on events, right? So their event budgets are huge, but their marketing budget is, for me, so small that I think to myself, I don't think the priorities are done in the right order. And it's difficult to make sure that you give the right quality of work when the budget is so low. So I always say to someone, I don't want to sacrifice or compromise on the quality of work we deliver because your budget is low. I can suggest certain things we can do, but please understand 1, 2, and 3 will be compromised. And then it's their call. And a lot of the times they'll say yes. So for me, it's always interesting that people don't allocate budget for marketing. And if you're a new business and no one knows who you are, that should be one of the most important things you allocate. That budget should be for getting your brand out there, getting the presence, getting the recognition. And that brand should be seen as many places as you can. And social media is the easiest tool you can use these days. I didn't have that when I started marketing 25, 27 years ago. It's now this huge resource, which you have benefited from setting up your business, that you're helping other people work through that whole labyrinth of, what it is to be online marketing, everything that comes under that. And it can be really overwhelming for a lot of people. So let's say, for example, if you've got a company who just doesn't know how to get their message out there, that they are great at what they do, they're well priced, and they really do deliver a good service, and they're a service-based company, but they just don't know how to get their brand out there. What is their best strategy to go with for people to know who they are, for them to even see them come up on their social media, on whatever platforms it might be?
Do they have a bit of budget or it's rather low budget?
Let's say, for example, what would be a good budget for a company that has been around for 2 years and they've got a few clients on retainer, they're making a couple of $100,000, but they're not on big scale and they don't want to allocate a lot of budget because for them it's quite risky still. They want to retain as much cash flow as they can.
Yeah, I mean, when they really want to spend money online and they want to spend money on paid ads, let's say, the first guess if it's a service, the first thing would be the most simple one. Take your phone, open the camera app, the selfie function, and if you're can talk to the camera and you do have some confidence and you can speak normally. I mean, our ads, for example, we run ads for ourselves, and these ads nowadays are just my phone talking about a topic that I either, like when we have sales calls and we talk a one-on-one session about one of my clients, and I have this thought that, most business people or most SMEs in Dubai think that SEO is super well spent money. And I'm saying, actually, that's not right, because SEO takes forever. You have to pay in advance. So it's very horrible actually to market yourself, to get results
And
quickly.
there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
I mean, you just rank a little higher on Google,
Correct.
right? So, but then the website is not optimized. Doesn't mean anything. Like, you rank high on Google, but you don't make more sales. Nothing, right? So I do talk to a lot of people who say, I think SEO is the best thing to do. And then what I do is I just take my phone out and say, if you're a business owner and you think that SEO is the fastest way to grow in Dubai or in your region, think again, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to know more about this and how we can actually show you how to go from this to this and this time, go to the website and sign up. Right? So our ads, or the ads that I'm running, are mostly inspired by real conversation that I'm having with clients. Because I know I'm not sure what people are thinking all the time, right? But if my target audience, I talk to them, I just ask them, what do you think is helping these days? TikTok, we need to make reels and we need to be a TikTok clown, or no, we need to make SEO and we need to pay 6 months in advance. And I'm saying, okay, I'm right. Okay, talk more. Because, I have my way to grow or how to help them. And I just take what they say and I use it then against other people in the marketing, right? So whatever this service is, if you know there's certain patterns in your target audience, write it down, take your phone, talk about this pattern, say why it's wrong or why you don't think it's working, present your solution, and run as an ad.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the simplest form of how, I think this way everyone will get clients online. Talk to your target audience, write it down, and use it against them.
Okay, cool. So let's touch upon the part of your journey where you would say that was the big change-making failure that I experienced that was able to direct me to get to where I am in my life now. What was that big change-making failure for you?
I think we talked about this before. It's the one thing, I know the point where everything changed. I had 3 clients, contract running out, no other leads. We're in a position where I was scared of spending money online, being out there. I did spend the money. Now I got the leads, couldn't do sales, and I invested into a coach in Germany, sales coach. And yeah, that helped me a lot. So that was the one thing that really made all the change. I knew how to get the leads. I didn't know how to close them. And I wasn't afraid of asking other people, because what I must say about coaches, of course, there's many coaches who scam people. They have no knowledge about anything, and they take your money and disappear. But the thing is, most people, I was playing guitar when I was 6. So what did my mom do? She hired a coach that I can go to, play the guitar with. So I learned from him because he knew better than me.
Yeah.
So he taught me. Or I played football. What did you play as a child? Did you do anything?
Yeah, I did tennis and I had a coach.
You had a coach?
Yeah.
Right? So when it comes to, I don't know, normal things like hobbies, cooking, I don't know, music, sports, I don't know, whatever, we always use a coach. But the moment we talk about business, out of sudden, no, I can do it myself. There's a huge ego. I don't want to pay anyone to get additional knowledge to what I'm doing. And out of a sudden, for business reasons, people do have a large ego when it comes to coaches, and they don't want to pay anyone to give them advice. And everyone knows better. But in our private lives, we do pay coaches for our children, for football, tennis, cooking, whatever, right? So yeah, the big thing was actually paying someone who knows more than me to get me where I want to go.
Which is really interesting because, like we said, the coaching industry here in Dubai is huge. I remember back in 2000 and I think it was 16, 17, literally it felt like every person I said, hello, and what is it you do? I'm a coach. I met so many coaches that a business idea that I had was to match coaches with their target audience, because they were like, it's really difficult for me to find clients, and that's exactly what we discussed. But I came to realize also so many of them were not qualified. so many of them were not even trained in the area of what they are saying it's their expertise.
Which they don't need to necessarily. Like
Some when you have a business coach, you have a sales coach, they need to know that they need to have some first-hand experience, or at least some way of, proving to you that they know what they're talking about. Otherwise, they just sit there and they can Google it and then teach you how to do it. They never had the experience themselves.
So what's your process of how to, if you look at a coach, how do you verify that he's good or not?
Okay, so when it comes to certain coaching, there is industry boards or there's associations which they should be at least some level trained, right? If you're looking at certain specific coaches, and I'm talking in this case, let's say sales coaches, right? Or on that level, you want to know that they've actually succeeded in a proven track record with sales. So what is their track record? And I've met a few very good sales coaches who really can sit there and just tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the things I learned. This is how I learned them. And you actually, they're authentic. They're real. And I've also met a few who really all they've done is to Google a few things or just research a few things about how to, the fastest way to sell. And in that regard, they then start to say, I am a coach. Let's say, for example, your experience. You Googled, how can I make money online, right? Let's say you turn that into, I'm a coach now. And I actually will coach other people to do things online. You can run a course on that, but you've got the proven track record. You did it. You made money from it. People are actually saying I'm a coach, but they're not having the experience to back it up. That's the part that I'm saying, do your research. Just someone who says to you, I'm a coach, don't take it at face value. Actually ask them, so where did you acquire your qualifications? Or where is your history? Like, tell me about you. How did you come to be a coach? Let them share with you their journey into becoming who they are, and actually sit back and think, I'm going to pay this person to get me out of this funk. And they need to be qualified or at least experienced enough to do so. Otherwise, put the money in your pocket and figure out how else you're going to do it. It could be on a personal level. It could be on a professional level. I feel strongly about this because I've met so many fake coaches that people buy into. And they're out there and they're selling their public speaking and they're this course and that course, and they don't have the clout to back it up. Yet they're great at marketing. So again, people do fall into this trap where they get sucked in to the fake marketing that people are putting out there. And I don't think people are asking enough questions to verify if this person is doing what it says on the can. If you say, I'm going to increase your revenue by X and I'm going to do it in this month of time, okay, have you done that for yourself? Have you done that for businesses? Where is your proven track record? People are not doing it.
I think the easiest way for me to verify coaches is if I go to a coach and I don't see at least 3 video testimonials of people, real people, who say that they done the service and they're happy with it. And like if a coach or general consultant coaches anyone of these scammy new industries, if they can't pull 3 people in front of a camera who says, I verify that this person helped me to achieve X, I usually think it's a scam.
Okay, again, you can tell this is a pet peeve of mine, right? Because I was in this industry for quite some time. And I just got so to the point where I was thinking, people, please be smart enough to ask questions. I actually remember working with a client who wanted a website designed, and they said, we need the testimonials on there. So let's just pick some people. They made up the stories. They did the copywriting. They put a little studio together. They got some random people in there, got them to read from the auto cue, and they were then all of a sudden their best clients. It's not right. And I remember at the beginning, we used to have the photo with just the testimonial writing, and now it became a video testimonial. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a 100% guarantee that anyone is fake or is real, but do the work, research, and even look if they have a website. And at least figure out if they have other social media platforms, go and check. Yeah. Because people who have understood how to play the game, they're messing up the game for the rest of the legit people. And I just think that I've seen so many people that aggravates me, and I can't name names of who they are. They're very well known. And I'm sure you've met a few of them as well. They're very good at presenting themselves to be legit. But when you peel back the layers, they're inauthentic. They're completely just doing things the totally wrong way, and people fall for it.
I think I had cases before where I have video testimonials on my website, and I had cases where I was sitting in sales calls, and people said what you said. Maybe they are fake, right? And I said, okay, wait a minute. I got my phone out. I called one of them on speakers and said, his name was Reza. Reza, if you're listening, hi. I said, Reza, are you one of my customers? Yes. How long we've been working together? I don't know, 2 years. Are you happy? Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'll call you later. Hang up the phone. Bye. And that was it, right? So I could prove that we have someone going for us. So I think research is important because, as you said, people fake video testimonials, but just Google the names and then after,
and then see if it's legit.
Because I saw many that people called it honeycombing on LinkedIn, where people in Dubai, especially, I've seen this. People have fake employees on LinkedIn, and they took some random stock images of Google. They create employees and pretty girls in their 20s.
Yeah.
And then use these accounts to make acquisition online. And it's just fake. And it is really horrible.
I know. It gets to the point where you're just thinking, we have to do what we can to make sure we're competing. But there is a level, there is a fine line between being real and completely faking it. So I think that it's the responsibility of all of us to show up and be real about it. But also we need to do our research and find out, like, is this business legit before we pay them the money? Because once you paid that money, they're not going to refund it back to you just because you've then realized that they're fake.
There's one quote from one of my older mentors, Mike. And fake it till you make it. There is truth in it, but in the wrong way, I think. Fake it till you make it doesn't mean that you have to buy a nice car or have a nice watch, or you have to pretend that you're rich to get more clients. I think this is the wrong way of interpreting it. I think the right way of interpreting, do I say this right? Interpreting?
And interpreting.
Interpreting. Fake it till you make it is like, I still do that, but we do it with internal processes. So even though we're very small, we pretend that we have very strong internal processes. For example, we fake that we are a corporation internally. For example, if a customer comes in, there is an internal process that's completely unnecessary. Like there's a person, people is onboarded, and then I have to put it into a Google sheet, and there's a whole process happening afterwards, which I can just do it manually. But the process is built for if there's more people working in the company, then this probably will make sense. You know what I mean? So fake it till you make it in terms of not buy stuff you can't afford and faking you're rich on Instagram. I think fake it till you make it in other parts of the business that make you look more professional. So even if you're alone, stick to internal processes, even though it's completely unnecessary, but fake it until you have people who can lead that process and then do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, in this case, I like it. This was from my mentor as well. Like he taught me this. Fake it till you make it. Pretend you're bigger for yourself and don't buy stuff you don't need.
I totally agree. This fake it till you make it thing, it aggravated me to so, like,
yeah, it's horrible.
Every time I heard it, I was like, please, enough with this concept, because people misunderstood the concept of it.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly. It's not about putting out this image to people so they believe you are something that you're not. What it's actually telling you is step into that role that you foresee will be you in the next 1 year, 5 years, whatever it is, and enact how you would show up now.
Correct.
So if you're going to say to yourself, this is going to be a huge company and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, don't wait till you hit a certain figure in your bank account to show up that way. Show up with authenticity, show up with professionalism, show up with respect for yourself, for your colleagues, for your clients, and do that as a protocol. So have your SOPs in place. I think that's a really good way of doing it. I never really put more things in my to-do list to get through. I understand what you're saying, and I think it's a really interesting outlook, but I very much agree on the same process that this fake it till you make it concept.
And people just get it wrong.
People need to understand it. They just need to figure out how to make it work for you rather than buy into the concept of look like you're successful and then people will believe you're successful. First, believe that you have the capability of being successful. Then you believe it first. Other people will believe it too, but not in a way that, you're conning people. I think that's where people are mistaking the concept of this fake it till you make it. So agreed. I like the way you put that. It's very well put. So let's go back to the point where you started 37 Consult. What would you have said to yourself to do differently, knowing what you know now?
As of my mentor, Mike, this is my biggest problem because I made some money, but I didn't reinvest it. And reinvesting in terms of business doesn't mean that you invest in the stock market. Investing in a service-based business is investing into people because the only way to scale a service-based business is with people, right? So I'm like, he forced me, and we made a bet that he has to renew his teeth. Like, want to redo his teeth for the last 30 years, and he was scared of the dentist. And I told him since 1.5 years that I want to hire someone full-time. So we shook hands, and we said, okay, if you do your teeth for your entire mouth, I will hire someone full-time. So he did it, and I hired someone full-time. Now, her name is Alina, and she does our content. She's our head of creative. Sounds very fancy. She's doing content, basically. But yeah, so the biggest mistake...
Don't take away her title. That's a good title for her.
Yeah, it sounds cool, right? So the biggest mistake I still do, because I could invest into people much more than I do. But the biggest mistake is hire much earlier and don't hold on to your money because you're used to it. I think it's a very common problem of people who come from this specific class. What I realized is people who have a more chilled way of dealing with money. For example, if someone is from a more wealthy family, they don't have this problem at all. For example, most startups or SaaS companies or tech companies, especially here in Dubai, are founded by people who have money from their parents. And these people don't have any problem with investing it, right? Because they have such different approach to it. So they're just investing it. If it's gone. Nobody cares, right? So yeah, this is one of the biggest mistakes. Hire earlier and invest back into the business. And back into the business doesn't mean invest into stock market or don't buy gold barrels. Hire people who do your work. And that's the biggest mistakes I did and still doing.
Okay, but at least you've identified what the mistake is. You're rectifying it with the deal that you made with Mike as well. So you've employed now a full-time staff member. And are you seeing that is helping your business in a much more
of course.
profitable way?
He was telling me, Dario, just do it. You will see it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. You did in your life. And I said, no, but I'm scared. What happens if I can't pay her? What happens if she's not going to work with me because Sue wants to work with a single person? Blah, blah, blah. I had all these excuses why I wouldn't do it. And now she's happy. She loves the job. We do work well together. So now I'm thinking, of course, what an idiot, right?
Well, it's a learning. You did.
Yeah, of course. Like I don't take it in a bad way. I mean, I'm funny about it. Like we make jokes about this. But yeah, if you do have the money to invest into people who could do things that hold up you from making more sales and marketing, you should hire them.
Yeah, because it obviously frees up more of your time to do what you do best. And let them get on with that element. Because I think, again, as entrepreneurs, we've been trained to wear so many different hats. And you can do the sales, you can do the marketing, you do the content, you can do the website, you can go and, do cold calling, you can go and meet the client. And there's a long list of what you can do. But there's the list of things where if you actually really focus your expertise into the few things that you can do brilliantly, let other people do the other things. You don't feel that burnout. You don't feel that exhaustion, which is a concept that we talk about that a lot with people who are on the podcast, because they come and they keep saying that, we've been doing so many things, and you're not the first person to share this learning, that I want to allow other people to come into the business to start doing what they can to help me. And ultimately, you've seen that it's helped your business and it's helped you.
Yeah.
So it's great that you've made that learning.
I mean, the best thing, I hired someone before. She's still with me. Her name is Tina. She's Iranian also. I always like, it was the first full-time hire, but the best advice I got also from a mentor was hire someone for back office. So when I was a kid in school, my school bag was a pure chaos. So I didn't had this thing where you put the sheets in and where you put the homework in. So everything was a mess. But then my business was similar. Like what I was doing was great, nerdy, but then there was this administration part that was a mess.
Disorganized.
Finance, invoices, contracts, communication with clients about meetings, so all this stuff. But thank God he told me, no, before you do anything, just pay this person, 4,000 dirhams a month or whatever you pay her, and get her the things that you can't do at all. And I think most
Good
people,
advice.
when it comes to nerdy things, I mean, where you have to work with client intensively, you don't sell products, where you work with clients on business things, is taking away the paperwork stuff.
Yeah.
Like
The admin
thing. And this I always had. This I had from the start. Like I had always someone cleaning up my mess. But it was perfect because this allowed me also to come to the certain point. But then there was this, glass wall where I couldn't break through. And I think it was for temporary years. So hire as soon as possible, especially service businesses, just hire someone to do your shit.
Interesting. I like that. Okay, good. I want to know what's the best advice you've been given.
Talk to your customers. Ask them what they think in their private life. Maybe what do they want to achieve? Like not just business, but do they want to have more time with their kids? Do they want to do they want to scale their business? Do they want to travel? On personal things. And ask them things ask stupid, deep questions about what they think about their business and why they can't reach where they're going. Just write it down. Don't think about it and fire it back at your audience, right? So if people say, I want to have more time with my kids, and I want to scale my business to a point where I'm operationally I'm still there, but I'm not doing anything important. And then what I kept doing, how I made the sales was I'm just using the stuff people told me and use it as a weapon and shoot it against them. And then all of a sudden people said, oh, this guy understands me and he knows what I'm feeling and he knows I trust this guy. But of course it was real because actually I knew sometimes I could explain their world better than they could explain their thoughts.
Yeah.
And this is the number one advice for sales that I received. That's how I learned sales. I couldn't do anything and I just learned, listen to people, listen to what I say and use it against them. And then all of a sudden people trust you and, want to work with you.
That's interesting because the art of listening in itself is probably, I remember what they used to keep teaching. I don't enjoy sales. It's not my thing. I've attended some sales trainings and all of this. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I love listening to people, but I am not one who loves selling to people. So I can sit there and I'll know everything. That's why I like connecting to people. That's why I like having conversations, because communication for me is such a beautiful journey. And the element of listening is something that we need to learn how to do.
Listening
and
is
you've
sales.
obviously done, you've perfected the concept of let me listen to what they actually want. What is missing? How can I help them? What's their pain point? And with that, you can then turn it around and say, right, I can do these things so you can get more of that. And that's ultimately what it is. You give them what they need without having to railroad them into understanding, well, I'm not sure, convince me. You don't need to convince someone when it's something that they didn't even realize it was an issue until you highlight it to them.
Who did you sell to?
I've done many different things. So I've done sales and marketing before. Like for me, sales and marketing, back in the day when we used to, not have social media, we didn't even have laptops. That's the era that I'm talking about. And we used to deal with, let's say for me, we were dealing with luxury products back in the UK, and it was a family business. What we were doing basically was supplying the retailers and department stores with luxury products, and they were all handmade Persian carpets. So this whole concept, in the days when we couldn't even give them promotional materials other than like a leaflet. So I went to them and I just kept speaking to them and I was like, what's the problem? Why are people not buying? Why are they buying machine made? This is a beautiful product. Why are they not even looking at this? And after so many people said to me, it's the aftercare. They don't know how to look after it. They don't know, the machine one, they can just deal with it. But this handmade, they're so worried about it. They don't want to invest so much money because they don't look after it. So after speaking to a few different retailers, I actually came up with an aftercare solution. We came up with a whole promotional video. They used to play it there in the store. I made every single carpet come with a aftercare kit on the back of it, so you can know how to clean it, what to do, what not to do. And I listened. So I wasn't selling anything to them. It was more like, let me help you with this pain that you're experiencing with your customers just from listening. So at the end of the day, listening to what people want, you will be able to tailor-make what they need. And I think that's ultimately what you're doing. The art of listening, you've learned how to, incorporate that into your business and get the maximum output. So I like that. That's really interesting insight. I also want to know what keeps you motivated.
Interesting question. What keeps me motivated? I think I just wouldn't know what else would I do, to be honest. I mean,
So is it safe to say you love what you do now?
yes.
So you're motivated by the pure love of what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean,
have you made your passion into your work and that's your business now?
I mean, not really. That's the thing, not really, right? It's because it wasn't my passion to run ads. Because running ads or like making, I think nowadays I would say the passion is, if I really have to pinpoint it, the passion is if people call me and they say, in a nutshell, Dario made me some money. So this for me is the ultimate pleasure. Like helping people making more money, because back in the days I thought making money is the craziest thing, like it's the craziest skill ever. And I went, okay, how could I make money and stuff? But now making other people money is quite satisfying, you know.
So your passion was always helping people.
Helping people
make money, and that's exactly what you're doing.
Help people make money, exactly. Like I think if the path would have come differently, probably I could do something else that helps people to achieve something, right? But for some reason, I'm in Dubai, maybe that helps with money. But yeah, it comes to money. Like people make more money with me, and I think that's pretty satisfying. And I think that's the only thing that keeps me going. Like, of course, money. I mean, I'm still motivated by money. I mean, I'm not in the stage where I say, okay, I have so much money I don't care about, right? Of course, this is a factor. But in terms of emotional satisfaction, it's when clients call me and say, Dario, we just had our best months. That was crazy. What the fuck have you done? Right? So this is really what's cool about this job, making other people money. It's really nice.
I love that. There's a soft side to you that you love getting other people lots of money, and in turn it makes you money.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Pretty simple concept.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so Dario, tell me what's next for Dario and what's next for 37 Consult?
No idea. I think...
Okay, pause, rethink, and let's share it again.
I think, I mean, there's, of course, I think everyone who runs a business has these things inside their head. I want to become the market leader of my niche. I want to become this. I want to become this. I think the short-term goal is just keep doing what I'm doing, give results to my customers. Long-term goal is overcome my fear of hiring people, hiring as much as I can, and help as much as I can. And I don't know where the journey is ending, but I don't have like, there's people that have like, I want to have 10 million people doing something.
Yeah.
I think I'm more simple in this. I think clients are happy. How can I help more people? How can I help myself more, my family, back home? Yeah, that's it. Growing it as fast as possible.
I like that. Well, that's a good vision to have, to expand the business, to grow the team, to get over this fear of hiring people, which you're already doing. It's not too bad. You're breaking through that fear. Simplest way to put this, you came across your passion for what you've now understood. This is what you love to do. You found a way of how you can capitalize and make money from that. And you ultimately want to just grow the team. You want to expand your business. You want to help more people, make a lot more money for them and for you. And you should be proud of that. I think there's no shame in saying, I want to make more money. I think we need to take the stigma away. Yeah.
Are people ashamed of this to say
Yes, but people will go into, I want to be this and I want to be that and I want to help people. But ultimately, the reason you really want to do it, own up to it. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to make a lot of money.
Really? But I think most people who start a business do it. Yes, they want to help people. I mean, again, I love helping them. But I would lie if I say, no, it's not about the money. Like, everyone's lying who says it's not about the money. You know, so it is about the money, of course. But the best way to do it is a win-win. Like, you make money. Client achieves something, not just money, loses weight, overcomes something, gets a product, gets some benefit, and then both win. I think that's the easiest way to look at it. And if people are ashamed of making money, then you're in the wrong business, I think.
Yeah, you are very much in the wrong business. So Dario, thank you again. Thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you for giving us a sneak peek into what you've created so far. I'm excited to see what else you're going to have in the pipeline. And hopefully you'll come back in, let's say, a few years' time with more stories to share, but a little bit less of the failures, but more of the learnings. So thank you again for sharing your story, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Testshield.ae are the fastest growing UAE domain and hosting provider. Exclusive only to FabDXP subscribers, benefit from 50% discount on their hosting services by using the promo code FabDXP. Just visit testshield.ae and you can elevate your online presence.